Hello, hello. What's up? What's up? It is a new day, it is a new week, and it's time to get social. My name is Kavana, and welcome to the Introvert's Social Hour. Hello, hello. What's up? What's up? My name is Kavana, and this is the Introvert Social Hour. This is a fun episode for movie lovers, musical lovers alike. We're talking about the Mean Girls movie 2024 specifically. And of course, we'll talk about the musical in its own right, and of course, we'll talk about the original movie in its own right. But we're gonna give it a little review, recap on our thoughts. And today, I've brought my friend, fellow musical lover. Daniel, y'all have heard of Daniel's voice before. Daniel's been on the podcast already. So I'm excited to talk about our thoughts because we haven't heard each other's thoughts 100% yet. I've heard
Yeah,
Daniel's thoughts a bit, but I haven't shared my thoughts after I watched it recently.
I'm
So
intrigued.
I know it's gonna be a fun time. But first question, um, can you share like a favorite quote or scene from the original Mean Girls movie? Like what makes
Uh,
Mean Girls so
from
iconic?
the
There's a few, but what's
movie?
your go-to?
Oh Lord. I haven't seen the original in a cute minute, but I think like the part that I always remember is like when like Regina finally is like, okay, screw this. I'm gonna get and like she like takes the book and does all of that. I think like that for me, like in every iteration is one of my favorite parts.
Okay.
Just because it's like, I don't know, I think it's like one of those. Yes. Is she necessarily the best person ever? I don't know. Debatable. But I think
Mhm.
it's like one of the things of like with like High School Musical and Sharpay, where like Sharpay was not the villain. Somebody came in and tried to take that away from her. And
Uh-huh.
so like I think for in Mean Girls, that part with Regina is like, I don't know, I think she's just kind of like she's that person. And I love her for it.
Mhm. Okay, okay. I can see it's always I've heard that statement before where it's like Sharpay is not the villain. But to be honest, I think like overall, I don't think there's a true villain in High School Musical. Everyone has their flaws, but I wouldn't say Sharpay is like excused from the things she did. And including so then I tie that in with Regina. I don't think she's excused either. But
I
the
mean,
way that
yeah,
that Katie rolled the things the way she did, like Katie ended up to be fair, I actually think Katie ended up being more of a villain in Mean Girls.
yeah, that's what I'm
Um, be
saying.
because she also did Damien and Janice dirty.
Janice, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know because after watching the movie, I was like, yeah, she did kind of do a lot. But
Yeah.
I don't need reminders because I frequent the Mean Girls musical a lot, and what they did really well was in the album and the music, they told the story without you needing to always watch it. Like I can keep track of the Mean
Hmm.
Girls story without it. But what is your experience with the Mean Girls musical on Broadway? Like, what do you know about the stage adaptation? Did you see it in person?
So I sadly, disappointingly, did not see the stage adaptation, which I, till this day, I'm gonna be upset about it. If it
Hmm.
ever comes again, if it goes on tour, I will be the happiest person ever and I will be first in line to get tickets.
Hmm.
Now, I was, and I remember this because we were maybe our second year of undergrad when they were like, Mean Girls is coming to stage. So like I was following Mean Girls from the very beginning when like it was
Hmm.
announced that it was gonna be made, when Taylor was announced that she was gonna be Regina, that like everybody like I was there eating it up. I was excited because I think at that I was like in college figuring out like I was still very much in the theater world like myself. And
Hmm.
so I was like obsessed with it, but I think in terms of like musical theater and Broadway and stuff, I was like, okay, we need something new. And I think that's when the conversation of like Wicked started happening of like, what's going to happen with Wicked? Like, are we going to get a movie? Is it going to go? I think the conversation of Phantom of the Opera leaving was also a conversation.
Hmm.
Um, and so I was like, okay, we need something new. Like, give me something. And I think Mean Girls was So when the album came out, I ate it up immediately. Um, and then seeing like the cast changes, I think I saw, and although like it was like, I think it was similar to like Waitress, of where it was doing super, super well. And then towards the end, they really tried to do their celebrity casting. They were
Hmm.
switching up people all the time. They had that one Vine, Cameron Dallas, whatever his name is. They had him play
Apparently, yeah.
whatever his name is,
Aaron.
Aaron.
Hmm.
And so like some of it worked, some of it like Sabrina Carpenter had her cute little 2 days on stage before COVID hit. So
Hmm.
like there was
Hmm.
that too.
Hmm.
But I think through all of it, we got also a lot of like artists and a lot of performers out of the stage adaptation. Like Renee Rapp, love her to death.
Hmm.
Love her to death. And I'm like, we got her out of Mean Girls. And I not saying that she wasn't doing anything before that, but I think that really projected
Helped
her.
launch. Yeah.
The same thing with like Ashley Park. She was doing other things before that, but I think Mean Girls definitely helped her.
Mm.
Um, so yeah. Still mad that I
Okay.
never saw it on stage though.
Yeah. Same because of also COVID. I remember it was touring and it was gonna come to San Diego that year, like that May.
Hmm.
COVID hit and I couldn't go anymore. Um, but no, I had never seen it, but I played the album. Like if you give me a few musical albums to play back to back to back, like that's on my list. I could give you some good like a decent amount of lyrics depending on the song. Um, and yeah, no, I agree with um like Ashley Park, Renee Rapp kind of like launching a bit. Yes, they were doing other things, but I even Renee has said that her connection with Tina Fey has helped her get other things in her career. Because she was very honest. Like she was like, I don't just want to do the musical thing. Like I do want to be a singer. And she said before, like she's not really into the acting as much, but she'll do it though. So, you know,
I didn't know that.
oh yeah, yeah. She
I didn't
was
know
like, she'll
that.
do it. That's why she dipped on Sex Lives of College Girl. She was like, I'm focused on my music now. Like, she was-
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But you know, if you want her to go into a little movie musical, she'll do that, you know. But no,
I
she
love
said
that
I
for
see in
her.
an interview like she's more her career. She wants to be more music focused. That is her first love.
Mm.
But if that means she is doing other things, she will. But I found that so interesting. Um, yeah, but no, the music is so good. I don't know. I love it. We're gonna talk about how that changed from stage
I
to
have my opinions.
opinions. I know because it's different. It is different. Um, what do you think translated well though musically into the film version? Like in general, I guess, what aspects of the music, not even just music, but what general aspects? Like I feel like I think they elevated in their costumes. I was more impressed with like how they were to match up to
I
current times.
like, I really, so like, and I didn't, I didn't build my opinion until the very end, until probably Rather Be Me. Because
Mm,
I was like, I knew, especially through like marketing, through like other people seeing it before me, through like what I was seeing online, I knew that it was not gonna be the stage version. I
yeah.
knew that. But
Hmm.
I think it was, I think it's easier. I like you're right. I think the costumes look really good. I'm glad that they like updated it because I'm the stage version. I don't know any high school people that would wear that.
Hmm.
So I think it worked with what they did in the movie. I think certain stuff I was like, we could have tried a little bit harder. Try a little bit hard. Do we also like maybe I missed this in the do we know where we're at?
What do you mean? Where we're
Like
at? Oh, like
location wise?
location wise? Ooh, she moves from Africa.
Because
She's
wherever the because I think my
Ethiopian.
thing was like with Regina and like the plastics outfits, I was like, yes, this works. And if we were in like Los Angeles or something, or like Calabasas, I
Mm-hmm.
could see her wearing some low-key Chanel, something like that. And so I don't know. I think I liked what they were doing with it. I think certain things could have, like Janice, sometimes I was like, what are you wearing, girl? What are you wearing? What are you doing?
That was my person. Yeah, I was gonna talk
And
about. Yeah.
I also think part of it is like they really leaned into like Jem, and this is where I'm like they really changed up, or was Jem? I don't know. I think you
I
go.
figured out randomly. So, it was set in the Chicago suburb of Evanston, Illinois.
Okay,
I didn't know that, so I had to search that up.
yeah, I didn't know that either. Well, doesn't change my statement.
Yeah.
But um, what was I saying? Oh, but yeah, but I think like with Janice, like I think in this one they really leaned into the like she's queer, she's
Hmm.
gay, and she dresses like that, and she's an artist, and she's da da da. And I was like,
Hmm.
but like this homegirl is still in high school.
Hmm.
Like if we were in college, maybe. And
That would
not
make more
saying
sense.
like
Yeah.
there's not places like that, but like it was just like I really had to suspend my disbelief
Hmm.
and be
Yeah.
like, okay, we're in high school, this is happening. I just also think like, I don't know, it felt very much like when we're doing the musical parts. I'm really reading this movie for Phil. When we're doing the musical parts, it is in a different world than the real world.
I agree.
Like I
Yeah.
feel like they were very separate, whereas like obviously like stage, it's not that because like you only have so many things. But it
Hmm.
was very like we're in this classroom, but if we're gonna sing, we're gonna like step out of it.
Hmm.
We're
Uh,
gonna be completely like Revenge Party. Love that sequence.
that was fun.
Or
Yeah.
rather be me. Love that sequence, but a lot of it I was like, you could have just stayed where you were at and then eventually got us to the bus.
Well, I will say this because I'm glad you said that because I didn't even think about that's how they approached it, but that probably is 100% how they approached it because it seemed like as much as they wanted to make a musical, they were trying to step away from it. Um, but like, oh my gosh, when Regina sings to Aaron at the party, um,
Oh, I
uh,
will say I love that part.
yeah, I can't. Oh my gosh,
Poor little me, all trapped in this
yeah.
fabulous. You
I
can
can't
set
think of it, but that one is also a connection of like this idea that for them, anytime that someone's singing, they kind of step into this alternate world in their mind.
hmm
It seems like we do go into their like fantasy era of
Someone
things.
gets hurt.
Thank you. Someone gets hurt. Yeah. Someone gets hurt was a fun time. I was like, okay, they're going for this like very like fantasy vibe. Like, okay, we're in an alternate universe now. How the lights went down, everything's kind of slowed. She's the predator. Like it matches up. I wasn't mad at it. I was curious about the shaking. Um,
Yeah, there was some parts with the camera where I was like, what are we doing?
well, no, that this was choreo though. This was a choreography
Oh,
choice.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I was curious about that. I wasn't 100% mad at it, but I was just curious as to like why that connected to the scene where it was necessary. Um,
I was
but
also
yeah.
surprised with that scene that Aaron doesn't sing.
Because they didn't really cast singers, Daniel. That was their first era. So
Sing.
Homeboy, because I love me a little BuzzFeed interview, a little YouTube interview. So I was watching these Mean Girls interviews, even though I hadn't watched the movie until it like was available publicly. He says he doesn't sing. The actor,
Yeah,
he says he doesn't sing.
yeah, I was very disappointed when Regina was saying "You're hot, damn, you're hot,"
Fine.
and Aaron was not singing back.
Yeah.
I was like,
No,
what
I
was the
knew.
point?
No, I knew. Yeah.
He's not very pretty, so like at
Mm.
least he can sing in the movie.
Yeah. I was curious about that choice too. I think some people fought that, some people didn't, but I was just like no shade to the actor. But like Daniel's like
In the words of
but
Renee, I mean offense. I
But
mean, offense.
I think they're looking for someone who's a little bit more um what's that term? Oh my gosh. So it's I can't think of the term, but like societally pretty. Societally like there's a word for it though. I
Oh,
can't think of it. A
conventionally
phrase.
pretty,
Thank you. Conventionally pretty, conventionally handsome. That's
conventionally
what
attractive.
yeah, conventionally attractive. Thank you. And that was not what we were getting when I saw who was cast. I was like, you're telling me Regina George is fighting for this man? They also just didn't have like I feel like yes, they're not supposed gonna end up together, but they should have still had some form of chemistry. It just felt
Mhm.
very opposite and not in an opposites attract kind of way. So
Yeah, it
I
was
don't
just
know.
not, it was not
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. But I did want to bring up for Janice though, I agreed. Janice was way softer and nicer in this Mean Girls version. Like I feel like I do agree. Let me tell you, I feel like in the original Mean Girls, Janice was like full punch. Like she was like going in. Like, yes, she was
The
going to be
movie or
friends with
the
me.
stage?
The movie. The movie. So
Okay,
like when we get
okay.
this movie for people who don't really like vibe with musicals, so they just go from movie to movie. Janice is like very kinder hearted. Not she's saying she wasn't kind, but I just feel like she's additionally soft. Like it seems like Regina's existence hurts her feelings way more versus like Regina's in her presence. I feel like in Mean Girls, the original movie, like Janice was ready to like square up with Regina. In this version, I don't think this Janice was square up with Regina at all. Like she doesn't give me I fight, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yes. Yes,
Um,
that, yes.
yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. She's just like she's way more up tempo. Like she's just very more vibrant versus like Mean Girls Janice was not. And I don't to be fair, once again, I have not seen the stage adaptation um like in its full form. Um But I mean, the stage adaptation, she is more up tempo because she kind of has to be. It's a musical. I don't think she has to be, but the music they gave her is, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, um, like you get Apex Predator, I'd rather be me, things like that. It's very boom, 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 boom. But I think with the costuming and stuff, that also gave her a very like bubbly vibe, which is once again different from the original. So,
Yeah.
I was very curious with the choices they're making. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
I like don't I semi okay. I definitely think I feel like I don't know if I like Janice in this movie.
fair. Why though? Is it the same reason I said, or like is it different?
I like she was just I th do think that I don't I don't know if this is gonna get me canceled for saying this. I feel like it was just like too social justice warrior or alluding to it.
Hmm.
And I was like, that's not what Janice was though.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to think of like even in the stage adaptation. No, I don't think so. She does give that vibe though, I will say.
Which like, yeah. But
Yeah.
like I think they leaned into it and I was just like she just like didn't care. I think that was my thing. I think in the original, like she just was just like I care about like the things I care about and is what it is. Whereas this one, it's like I care about everybody, which is this is why okay, maybe yeah, maybe she was too nice and was like I care about the world.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I just the only thing that I was like, no shade to Ali, love her,
Hmm. Yeah.
love what she did. I think the only thing that I am glad that they kept from Janice, which I didn't think that they were gonna keep,
Hmm.
was uh, it's right after the party. I don't know what the actual song name is.
Oh, yeah. She's like dun 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 dun. And I can't think of the.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's like telling him
Buddy,
off.
it's not pretend.
Thank
You're
you.
as plastic. Yeah, that part.
You're as plastic as they
That
come. Yeah.
come,
Hmm.
yeah. It wasn't in the album. And so I was like, they didn't bring that back. That's like one of my favorite parts.
It
It's
is in
not
the
on the
album.
album, not on the movie album.
Oh, not on the movie album. No, no, no. Okay. Yeah. I was
No.
like, wait, no, it's not. Okay.
I was like, they didn't bring it back. And then it's in the movie. So the
Hmm.
only way I can hear it is if I watch the movie.
Yeah. And she's like, "I'll be fine." Yeah, that was a good one. No, I'm glad they
Because
kept it.
she did it so well.
Yeah.
I have felt the music starting and I was like, oh my
Hmm.
God, she's gonna
It's
do it.
coming.
She's gonna do it. Moana is gonna gag us all, everybody.
Moana 2 coming out. Yeah. No, I'm excited. Yeah, no, anything in regard to Janice, I think they were just director writer's choices. Definitely not on her, and I think she acted what she was given.
Yeah.
I also just want to say
Which
I love that
now,
she's coming up again. Like she had a pause and I saw her slow growth kind of come. She had like this movie on it was Hulu or Prime, and she was like a mean girl, and I was like, "Ooh, she's playing a
mhm.
mean girl, okay." And then she started coming into a little bit here, a little bit more. I'm like, okay, so she's coming in on a rise.
I will say I'm interested, and this is something where I'm like, it's not my, I do not have any right to ask this,
Mm-mm.
but I'm interested from a marketing standpoint. If Ali's like short hair and this like very like grungy queer-esque outfit and wardrobe and choices lately is because of Mean Girls or because she's choosing to do that herself and it just works out with the movie.
I think she's choosing to do that herself, but it works with the movie. But I also think her playing Janice was a chance for her to like, it's not a rebrand necessarily, but it was
To
a
be like, this
chance.
is who I am.
y- Yeah, but also to say like, here's my capabilities because like
Mm,
it's hard to like start off as a kid and be like, oh, I was a Disney princess, and then
that's
try to
fair.
like be able to play harsher, more even more adult roles. Like they talk about
Yeah,
this a lot. Actors like that transition from childhood into adulthood is kind of hard. Like figuring out
yeah,
that branding for yourself, and then also like not having to always play the nice characters, being able to play something a little more complex.
yeah.
But no, I think this is her. Yeah, I think this is her. But you never know though. Like I think of singers like this. Singers be rebranding all the time, preparing for their era. So
Uh,
who's to say? Maybe actors can do the same. Maybe she's in her era.
teen. I mean,
Um,
Ariana Grande's in her cute little Glinda Eternal Sunshine era.
yeah, it's so interesting because it truly is nothing
We
like
have a
we have
week.
seen.
We have a week.
Oh, okay. By the time this episode comes out, it'll be out, so we'll be bopping it. No, she hinted at a new single song that'll probably drop next week. um, which I am excited for. I'm just curious to hear more of the song, hear more of the album, and understand her placement because the visuals we see is very different, and it's not just blonde hair because
Hmm.
we've seen platinum hair Ariana before, but like this
Yeah.
blonde, kind of
It's very
way
like
more pretty.
ballerina-esque,
Yeah.
preppy,
Hmm.
very
Exactly.
light.
Yes.
So very
Yes.
Valentine's
Yeah.
Day on a cloud-esque.
Yes, exactly. But no, yeah, I love Ariana Grande, but she is a chameleon. So yeah, I love her though. Yeah. So I'm very interested to see um what we get from that. But coming back to Mean Girls though, I am curious before we like fully go into the music of it all. What performance from the musical were you excited to see in the movie adaptation? Before you even saw it, no talk about it. Just like when you were like excited to see, and then we're gonna talk about was it worth it?
I I was excited to see Meet the Plastics.
Okay.
And if people have seen the movie, we know my feelings on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another one. Um, World Burn,
That was the one I was thinking of
just to
too.
see how they were gonna do it.
Yeah, yeah. I think they did well. I wasn't mad at it. Um,
I have my opinion.
okay.
Renee did it beautifully.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go in order of movie. So I have my notes on like from beginning to end of like different music notes. And then hop in. There's certain songs I don't mention if I didn't think, one way or the other about them. Um, One thing I said, I love the way that it started, how Cautionary Tales it still worked for me, even though it was like
Hmm.
obviously the whole entire movie is very much like tech based. People are on their phones, TikTok, da 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 da. But I loved how it still worked. Oh, we're gonna put ourselves on camera. We play a song, ha ha ha, hee hee. I wasn't mad at the choices either. Um, what do you think before I move on to the transition song?
I liked it. I think I was like a little like, okay, is this what's going on?
Mhm.
Um, because I was like, are we gonna, I think I was just like two in my head of like, where is this gonna go? Like, how are we gonna get to where we need to get to? I think
Mhm.
that's just like from any like stage to like movie, I'm like, how is it like Wicked? That's what I'm like, how are we gonna get
Mhm.
from like,
Mhm.
that's what I'm most excited about is like the place to place.
Mhm.
And so with this, I was like, how are we gonna get from this opening scene that I know on stage is both of them breaking the fourth wall? And so I was like, how's this gonna work?
Mhm.
Um, I just think with that song, I needed it to be a little louder, like just volume wise. I was sitting
Mhm.
in the theater, and I don't know if this is the same at home, but I was just
Mhm.
like, you need to be yelling more.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that was my only qualm with it.
Okay. I have heard now, I don't know if it's like I have heard this thing of like the sound quality in movies not being so great now these days. So that could be a thing, or if they just needed
It's
to just
fair.
be like, into the mics.
Yeah, I was like, you couldn't have like put the mic a little bit closer.
Yeah. So we have Cautionary Tale. They're kind of like in the garage recording, and then we transition. I thought the transition was good. I actually liked it. I thought it was very smart director's choice.
Hmm.
We transitioned into Africa, and that's where Katie is. If you know Mean Girls, you should at this point if you're listening to it. If not, go watch it. But then that's where Katie is, and Katie's song originally in the stage adaptation is "It Roars." It's a cringy song, but I think it's a fun song. Um,
Hmm.
Katie herself is cringy. If you go back to that movie, like her desperation to want to fit in so bad and just like how quick she's willing to like throw away things just to blend in. Um, those are all things like her excitement, overexcitement sometimes at like the simplest
Hmm.
things. And I feel like It Roars had a really good I love It Roars. Like it's a fun song. It was one of those songs that had to grow on you, but like I'm not gonna skip it if it plays. Um, and then we got a new song titled What If, and I don't know
It was
the
okay.
actress's name. You said it was okay. You're very kind. Um, it was bad.
Angorny. Angorny and something. It reminds me of Sigourney
Yeah.
Weaver's name.
Oh, okay. I know I think she's Australian, no?
Yeah,
So
she's a
or
Nepo
she's American.
baby.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
T.
makes so much more sense.
Hmm.
Yeah, because we all know this. If you watch Mean Girls musical and you
Angori
say
rice.
otherwise, oh, okay. Um, you know, Once again, like she knows this. I'm pretty sure she knows this, and she probably took the job. And what Coco said, I'll do it too for a check. Like you go ahead and take the check, girl.
Yeah.
But she cannot sing, and I think that they hired her knowing that. And I think a lot of the changes that were made in the movie were because of that. I think they hired faces, and then they went about the singing in different ways. And I found that very interesting considering she is the main character. What
Mm-mm.
If is not a good song either.
Mm-mm.
Um, and yeah, it was just really bad. I can't really say much else. Like it just wasn't
I'm
good.
glad it was at the beginning of the movie so that we can get it over with.
But then she sings again and it's still not good. So
Oh my
I'm gonna talk
God.
about that. I
That
do this
scene, yeah.
this is where I just feel
You
really passionate
know.
because it's like that's what gets really frustrating as someone who is in a world of dance. Like it's a lot of times people get hired for the look, people get hired for who they know. And so not a lot of the times people get hired for what they can do. And that kind of gets really frustrating. But the Nepo baby thing makes a lot of sense. Um, there's a lot of Nepo babies out there, but it's like how you
Hmm.
do it. And I know that was a whole debate last year. It shouldn't be a debate though. You know you're a Nepo baby. You know you have access. Why are you mad at
Yeah,
people calling you a Nepo baby? That doesn't make sense to me.
like
Like it's
own up.
obvious.
Like if I was an Apple baby, I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah,
But you know what? I'm gonna be a good person still, so that way nobody can clock me.
exactly. Like look at Tracy Ellis Ross. She's
Yeah,
world's number one Nepo baby, I think. Like her success rate, but she's the number one Nepo baby because she handles it with grace. You
yeah.
know, I think that's what they got to do. What's her face? Miss Madam Web over here was mad not too long ago, but
I heard that
it's
movie was
okay.
bad.
I heard so too. And apparently we're recording this y'all March 3rd. But Sydney was just on SNL and she cracked a joke on Madam Web about not being on it like that. He's like, if you seen Madam Web, probably didn't really see me in it. So
Tea.
I was like, oh, alrighty then. But then, yeah, we keep moving in. If you have any in-betweens, let me know. But I'm gonna go straight into meet the plastics. The fact that there's a lack of, we don't have it. So I don't like that we lost meet the plastics. Instead, they just say the lyrics and then Regina has her moment. Um, I think that, and then on the album, I knew that we were losing it because I listened to the movie album first. And I said, this is not Meet the Plastics, this is Meet Regina. So if you were going to take it all out, just put
Yeah,
Meet Regina. Be honest with
and
yourselves.
that was my. I think I was like, my thing was that that song like really explains their relationship
100%.
with each other, and I think the fact that it was gone, like when we finally get to the house and um, what's her name? Uh, yes, Regina, no, Regina. I said every waking hour,
Here
making sure Regina, George, Gretchen Wieners.
we go. If Regina is the sun.
Like the scene where she finally sings "What's Wrong with Me."
That was good.
I think it would have made, not saying it didn't make sense, but I think it would have been better connected if we would have gotten Meet the Plastics
Hmm.
because she's like, I'm obsessed with her. I spend all my time in her light. And then
Hmm.
she's in her closet saying, like, what's wrong with me? Like, I
Hmm.
think that would have been so much more powerful.
Hmm.
And then, like, Karen, she's just
Hmm.
an idiot.
Hmm.
So I think that would
Yeah.
have been a cute little funny moment.
I really do think, and those are the highlights though. That when people watched Mean Girls, I remember like Meet the Plastics was the funnest time for them on stage.
Yeah.
Because one personality, the fact that she's like, my name is Karen, my hair is shiny, teeth are perfect, my skirt is tiny, and she's like,
I
I'm done.
might not be smart.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, like that's just it's perfect. I feel like
We
that would have
never
actually
really
got
do
some
this.
non-musical lovers, like like to get that comedy
And
aspect a little bit
also
more.
the harmonies in that end of the song with the three plastics singing three
Yeah.
different things at the same time is
Mhm.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm mad.
Yeah, they messed up on that. I also think it would have been a really fun thing to choreograph if they wanted to make it like choreography.
Mhm.
Um, like they could have played off of that so much more. They could have enhanced it rather than just take it out. So I just felt like it was a very lazy move. What I will say is Regina's entering was very dramatic, and I did love that. That was fun. The rest of the shots were kind of weird though. Afterwards, like she entered, they were like up close Regina, up close Kate. Like it was just kind of the director's choice, camera choice there was kind of strange, but I did love the way that she came in.
I didn't like that they got rid of the da-na-na-na,
Hmm.
da-na-na-na, and they just had like the weird like sci-fi noise.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
name Reggie. Like I was like, okay,
Yeah. It's
yeah.
very, that's why I'm talking about that fantasy supernatural vibe. Like I'm telling you, that's what they were trying to go for. Um, and it was very interesting. They really kept with Apex Predator as if she was like a freaking werewolf and kind of went with that the whole time.
Now that one
Mhm.
gagged. Love that scene. I love that number.
I think, yeah, I said I wasn't mad at Apex Predator changes, but here's what I will say. I was like, did we need a disco pop edition though? I was like, I could have done without it. It was a little too poppy for me. But I know. Um, but Damien singing in place of Katie, um, makes sense though. Once again, though, I think those choices were made because Homegirlie can't sing, but it still
Hmm.
made sense when he was singing those lyrics. It still made sense. So at first, I remember when I listened to it, I was kind of confused as to why these changes were made. And then after watching it, I was like, no, I like it. And it was fun to watch. The disco pop for me was
I
a lot.
run to that song at the gym. When that opens,
Hmm.
dun, 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 I
Hmm.
first listened to it and I was like, wait a minute. Okay.
Hmm.
At the watering hole. See the girls who ain't nice.
Yeah. It's the middle ground where it's like dun, dun, dun,
Hmm,
and like it's just like I feel like I've been thrown back in 2014 and
that's
I just
fair.
didn't need that. I feel like if they wanted to engineer it differently, go off. I just didn't think we needed that. And that's what happened with a lot of the songs. They got very extra poppy and not current poppy. It was very like throwback poppy.
Hmm.
Um Also, random note, Gretchen says something about Juno being an old movie. I don't know if you caught that. I was like,
Mm-mm.
Juno is not old. Oh my gosh. So
How
very
dare they?
obvious that they I mean we saw from the marking they were like, not your mom's Mean Girls. It was like Mean Girls wasn't that old.
Yeah, how
We're-
dare they?
Yeah. Um Katie new version. Oh, Stupid with Love. Stupid with Love slowed down.
I
I
hated
put
it.
Here's my quote. Here's what I said because I was taking notes. I was reading it as I was watching it. I said, Katie's new version, Slow Down of Stupid with Love, is kind of treacherous.
I hate it. Stupid
Um,
with love. I didn't get it. I didn't get it till
Here's
now.
the thing. Once
Smart
again,
with math, but stupid with love.
but no, you gave it even a little bit more flavor. I'm not even, you still gave more flavor. It was just so flat and so just drained of anything. And no, I'm
And
not
like,
not even just saying comparison with the original. Like the original is like in your face, but I'm like it's literally just like you suck the
and I
life out of the
saw
song.
people on TikTok and they were trying to justify it. And they were like, the stage version was infatuation, and this version is lust and longing. And that's why
No,
she's so much more quiet. I was like,
it's still
no. I
infatuation.
was like, she's tired.
Yeah, it was a
Like,
bad choice.
no, yeah.
And I did say
Math and
maybe if
stupid
they
with
wanted to start slow and grow it, sure. Like it just was flat the whole song. I feel like they should have started if they wanted to start slow, then go for it, and then they should have grown it. But it was like at the end of the day, they knew she couldn't sing, so they kept everything very like low bass.
it's
And
trash.
yeah, no good. No
This
good came from
podcast
that.
one day is gonna get to her, and I'm gonna get an email one day from her publicist.
No, LOL. Well, I need people, speaking of, I need people to be sharing it so it can be able to spread wide.
Hey, Miss Rice, if you're listening
LOL.
to this, just
Like the
kidding.
acting was fine, just like girl,
Yeah, like she wasn't a bad actor,
you know
but
you can't
like,
sing though. So if that meant you should have been up on these lessons or whatever. I just feel like, I don't know. I'm not a Bayhive person, like strong, but like I am a fan of Beyonce's because like she puts in the work. When I think of people who put in the work to get things done, so it's like she knows what she needs to do to get the result. Obviously, not completely like big jump here, but at the end of the day, like she's an example of you got a job, you better like put to work to get your
yeah,
results. So if you know you got a job in a movie musical, get those
you better go
lessons.
get some singing lessons.
Yeah, like one I talked about with Sabrina, Zoe's playlist. So I don't want people come, oh, you watch Zoe's playlist, Kayvana. And like, no, very different category of idea. In a movie musical, you are expect like there's no idea of oh, well, it's okay if people don't sing because they're just like regular. Like, no, like it's a movie musical. It's from a stage adaptation. You're supposed to be able to sing. For Zoe's playlist, it was very obvious the connection of regular people randomly singing out of nowhere to her in her voice. So it was okay if
Mm,
everyone was not singing, but also too, like they were taking singing lessons and they were getting better. And it wasn't horrible either. It just sounded like regular people speaking versus like somebody trying to sound good and then not. If that makes sense. I don't know.
yeah.
But don't come for Zoe's playlist because of my comments on this. That's all. Because me and Serena talked about that too. And it's just like not comparison. Not a comparison. Um, moving on, I want to talk about what is wrong with me because we did mention it earlier. I thought she did great. I don't know that person's name. I'm so sorry.
Um,
Um, but I
BB
want her in more
Wood.
stuff. Okay, Evie Wood, you said?
BB.
BB. I want her in more stuff.
She was in Love Victor.
No, I didn't watch that, but
She
good
was
to
in
know.
Love Victor. I love
Yeah,
her. I
I
love
would
that
love to hear her sing
she
more.
Latina.
Mm-hmm.
So love
I
that.
would love to hear her sing more. I think she did great. She made some good choices. Not that there's a lot of room to make a lot of choices in that song, but certain ones she did make, I really liked. I would love to hear her sing more. That's all. So
Hmm.
we could have heard that in Meet the Plastics, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
I know. How dare they rob us?
Right. What did you think of Sexy?
So I liked it. I really, really
Okay.
liked it. Um, I think this is the song where I was like, some parts were too poppy and techno-y
Oh, we swapped. We did. Keep going, and I'll talk about my comments.
because I think I just didn't like the dance break part. Did
Hmm.
not like the beat there. I wanted this song to be
Whoa,
a
that one.
lot more
Okay.
musical theatery,
Hmm. Okay.
but it was just very techno poppy, a lot more than I wanted it to be.
Uh-huh.
I also think I like the way that they were doing it, like the TikTok stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I This one was just my like. I really, really wanted to like it, but it was just like it was too different for me.
Got it. Okay. Um, I did say I put like the phone tech TikTok trend incorporation in sexy. I said she acted her butt off, plus the singing.
Hmm.
Like I was very impressed. I did not know her previously. Um, I said I wasn't mad at the poppy disco sound for the song. I think I was like
T.
possibly my favorite part because I think it worked with the party vibe of it all. At first I was like, and then I was like, when you tie everything together, I was like, I'm actually not mad at it once you tie everything together. Um, I said, so, oh, I was like surprised if they would have messed up this song because it's already so fun. Like if they would have messed up this song, then it would have
Hmm.
been really down the drain because it's like it's one of those songs that like how could you mess it up? And I liked the dance break. That was fun. She was like dance break, da 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 da. Da.
Like
Ooh,
like it
oh,
was a fun scene. It was
yeah,
so fun, but I definitely was like, oh, I miss. I think because
yeah,
at that point in the movie, I was already like, we have already either missed or got rid of so many things from the stage that this is just my
um,
like, oh, this is now
mhm,
just completely different.
yeah,
And then I also on TikTok I heard somebody remixed the vocals of the new one with the audio track of the stage, and it
hmm.
sounds so good with Avantika with the musical theater background.
Oh, I gotta find that.
Um, yeah, it was. I think that was my only
Hmm.
thing with it.
Like, yeah, I'm not mad at it. I'm curious to hear that version. Um, but I would have definitely taken Disco Pop here versus Apex Predator. I think it just makes more sense. But so if we had to have one or the other, I'll take it. But no, I was intrigued by it all. I wasn't mad at anything. Um, for Someone Gets Hurt, we talked about it a bit. I put choreo directing for Someone Gets Hurt was fun. I liked the lighting choices. That was fun too. And then once again, I put don't 100% know the connection to them like twitching. in the choreography.
Yeah.
But other than that, I enjoyed it. I liked the slow walk, the wind blown in the face, the frozen kind of like Katie, and then Regina's kind of like the one who kind of like
Hmm.
puppeteers everybody. No, I was intrigued by that. I think that was fun, and that's the musical sections we see. Versus in a movie. Like a movie's just gonna give you something, and you know, in a musical, they're able to tie in a lot without saying so much. Like she's just
Hmm.
singing this song and she's able to give you more without saying it necessarily. Like she's singing
And I
about someone gets
think
hurt.
and I think that's where like what I meant in that like in a lot of the other scenes it was like real world, and then musical over here, and then we'll come back.
Hmm.
Whereas with this song it was like, no, we are singing here, like we are in this world here, like this is
Hmm.
happening here with us. And so that's why I really liked it, because I was like, oh, okay, this is a musical, we are here, everybody is here.
Hmm.
um and I think they did that well with like the stopping and the lighting and stuff. This was, I think
Yeah.
this was one of my more favorite scenes.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. As far as like the ones I think about, if they're like, hey, what do you think about the Mean Girls 2024? I would bring that up. In
Also just love
similarity,
Renee Rapp in a white angel costume.
yeah. Her costume fits were cute. I liked them. The pink fit with the
Hmm.
it was a pink pants and it was like a sheerish pinkish bluish. Correct me if I'm wrong. It had
The
different
top,
colors.
yeah.
Yeah, the top. Yeah, I thought that was cute.
Fashion
Um,
Nova.
oh, there we go. Revenge Party. I put that it's visually appealing. We talked about that.
Hmm.
But I did say the sound feels very stripped. So this is where I
Hmm.
wanted the musical ties in a little bit more. I said should have kept the regular backgrounds for the chorus. Like they didn't get what's Regina doing? What's Regina wearing?
Yeah, I
What's she
hated
doing,
those
Aaron?
parts.
You didn't no, but you
Like there was, they did have them, but they were just like, oh no.
no, I don't
I
think
feel
they
like they did, but they
did.
were just so quiet. Because I remember
Or
the
they were
whole
dry.
like, I remember like Damien, I didn't like his like, and then for Gretchen Wiener's bye. Like I didn't like that part. I just
I
like felt
agree.
it was just so low, so quiet.
So okay, I'm
It
glad you agree with
was,
me because yeah, I
yeah.
said the sound just feels very stripped. I feel like for a song called Revenge Party and how fun it is in the musical, like sound wise, it just wasn't giving that. They just made some very interesting choices on what to up tempo versus like what to down
Hmm.
tempo. Um, I will say I did not like the Katie angry face zoom in through the hall. I said that was a bit intense, weird director choice. Um,
I
yeah, what
hated
do you
it.
think?
I hated it.
I was
I
trying
hated it.
to.
Also, like her voice in that entire clip,
You
just like,
can't
we'll
even
get
have
our
any
party
imaginary.
now.
Yeah,
One
flat.
candy cane, please.
Said one candy
Okay,
cane,
girl,
please.
sit down. Like nobody wants to give you a candy cane.
No, it was hard. It was hard. I didn't understand that. I feel once again they were trying to tie back in like the phone world of it all. But let's be honest here, she's not recording herself saying all that stuff, so then that just didn't make sense.
Yeah,
Um,
no.
and we could have gotten a really dramatic walk down the hall, like in wide shot as other things are happening in the halls. Like, I don't know, it just could have been a fun choreography moment too. Other people, obviously not
Yeah,
her dancing, but other people around her, things like that. I don't
in the
know.
background or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that I was just like, we didn't need this close up. Here's what I will say. So while we didn't get Stupid with Love in its original format, I did notice that we got Stupid with Love in band form. Someone who could
Hmm.
sing it at the prom, correct? Um, and I did appreciate that. Um, but I realized I skipped because I think I skipped because I already knew it was gonna be good. World Burn.
Oh, so good. I just wish that at the end or towards the end when Regina was
Mhm.
doing all her high notes that we saw her actually singing them.
hmm
Like there were clips of everything else going on, and I was like, I want to see Renee rap, sing this.
hmm
This is what I am paying for.
Yeah. They
And so
knew
I
that
think
she
that was
was the
my
one
only
bringing.
thing with it. But other than
Yeah.
that, I love how it started.
Yeah, same. I thought that was smart. I was like, this 100% makes sense. She's in her have the transition from her finding out
Mm-hmm.
to yeah, it all made sense. That was a connection that never clicked for me in the stage version, like listening to it at least. And whenever I've seen clips of World Burn, we just go straight into her wearing the black shirt versus like that transition into her all of that. So I thought that was a good and very
Yeah.
smart transition. Um, Rather Be Me. I once again I didn't have notes on it because I knew it'd be good too. I had no
Yeah, I think it
complaints.
was just another one of like it just felt very like we're in this world and now we're sinking. We're in this world and now we're sinking.
hmm
Um, but it was like I didn't hate it. It was really good.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I was like, I don't think I have any notes about that. Yeah. Um, but I did want to mention those because I was like, I realized I skipped them. That's in between the problem. But I skipped them because once again, I didn't have any notes. It was one of those things of like, yep, I knew it'd be good. No, 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 nothing to say. Um, but yeah, I was gonna say I appreciated that they brought back Super with Love in band form. But I will say it no longer applied at that point in the movie. So
Hmm.
obviously it was just a nod to say, hey, we know we didn't give you the version we wanted.
Yeah.
Here's it. But I just think I was like, okay, we're past that point now. We're at prom. Stupid with Love no longer applies to anybody in the storyline. So I was just like, okay. Um, but the person who sung that sounded beautiful. So
Hmm.
shout out to them. I like their version. Um, I love that Lindsay Lohan returned for the math math
I
was
was
it
because I
mathathon?
had heard the math, yeah, something like that. I because I had heard online they were like, oh yeah, she's coming back, and then I saw an interview with Renee and the dude who plays Aaron, and they were
hmm
like, how does it feel with Lindsay coming back? And they're like, oh my God, yeah. And I was like, what does she play? How does she show up?
hmm
I just thought it was so random to see her as the judge, but I was like, period, papa.
Yeah. I mean, if Tina wasn't back, I feel like Lindsay could have played the teacher. Um, but that yeah, other than that, there wasn't a lot of open roles for her to like jump into.
Yeah,
Um, so that it made sense where it lied. But yeah, I feel like I mean, Tina's gonna be in something, you know. She said, I put money into it
she's like,
on that screen."
my name and paycheck is on this, so I will be in that movie.
Exactly. She said, I'm returning. My homeboy over here is returning.
Hmm.
But no, Lindsay, I feel like Lindsay would have been
A good
a good
teacher.
teacher. But I will say
Ashley
I'm
Park being in it was so random.
yeah, I was surprised. And she was a French teacher, right?
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I get that she was in the play or in the musical and that
Mhm.
they wanted to like bring her back, but I was like, why? What? Huh? It was
Yeah.
just so random.
Once again, though, I really think it's about who have you made connections with. So if she's in good with Tina and they've made a really good connection with each other, Tina was probably like, hey, like, can I pull you for a role? We're doing Mean Girls musical. I
Yeah.
want to put you in for a teacher so you can like be a part of it again, you know? Just things like that. Um, but no, I love that Lindsay Lohan's on the come up again. Like Lindsay Lohan was my girl in the early 2000s. So
I
I'm
love her.
so excited. She
She
has a
deserves her
rom-com coming out
flowers.
and I'm gonna eat it up. She's it's called Irish Wish. By the time
Mm.
the podcast comes out, it might already be out, but I'm gonna eat it up. I'm
And
so excited.
yeah, Lindsay deserves her flowers.
Yeah, she deserves it all. Like she was that girl. It was her, Amanda Bynes. Who else was out
Oh,
there throwing in? Well, yes, I know, but Amanda, you know, Lindsay had her moment and she came back to the
yeah.
light, but Amanda's still
Well,
kind of
Amanda does,
Amanda's
yeah.
unfortunately like, you know, not all child actors make it out, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But no, it was her, Amanda Bynes at that time. And even I would say, here's the thing though, Anne Hathaway wasn't in a lot of like teen rom-coms too much. She had Princess Diaries, but I can't really put pinpoint anything else, or else I'd put her in that category. Because like Lindsay had so much.
But Anne Hathaway also,
Ooh, Hilary
she's
Duff.
just, oh yeah.
Hilary Duff. goes in that category. Sorry, what were we gonna say
Yeah.
about Anne?
She is in a different category all
She is.
altogether.
I agree. That's why I was
If
like, I
I
don't think
were
I'd
to
put her there.
meet her, I would cry
She's iconic.
profusely.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, no, I would say those three. Hilary Duff, Lindsay Lohan, Amanda Bynes were all kind of there doing like the teen movies, teen rom-coms, all that stuff at the time. Um, so Hillary's still doing her thing, more so
Hmm.
TV world land. We still never got Lizzie
Lizzie
McGuire.
McGuire.
And they Disney just dropped the two episodes for funsies. Like, just go ahead. We
Mm,
know they're edited. We know they're done. Like, just go ahead.
yeah.
But it's okay. But no, I'm glad that Lindsay Lohan's coming back. And yeah. Um, the last song, Stars, I will say you help me out. I can't remember, and it maybe it's a song I skip. That's not in the musical, right? Or am I tripping? Is it a song I
Yeah, it
skip?
is.
Okay, so it's a song I skip.
Yeah, I
So,
always skipped it. I think it's annoying. It's
okay.
so cringy. It's
Hmm.
so cringy. And
I
I
agree.
always skipped it. And then the movie, I also indeed skipped it on the album. And I was like,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
thank you. Yeah,
fair.
no.
I will say I didn't mind it as it grew in the movie. Like, not the start of it, as you said, was very cringy.
Hmm.
But I would say it's a good closer once you get to the part of it actually ending.
Yeah.
Um, and I
Like
put
towards
notice
that part,
how,
I was like, period. But at the
yeah,
beginning, I was like, ooh, shut up, girl.
yeah. But did you notice how they had someone else really like sing it though? Like,
Uh-huh.
like she started it, but she didn't sing it the
Hmm.
rest of the way. So,
And that's why we
um,
like the end of it.
yeah. Yeah, so um but that's how it ends. I do want to give an honorable mention to Not My Fault as the song for the movie. It's so good. I love how this podcast is just gonna be us just singing different pieces and they're like, okay, they're singing again. I love Not My Fault. It's a fun song. Renee ate with that and
It's
Megan the
like it with
Stallion.
me. Megan the Stallion.
I mean, who wouldn't want to be in love with me? That's how she starts, and it's great. Um, Overall, if you were to rate this movie out of 10, what would you rate it?
I see, I have two ratings.
Okay.
As a standalone movie musical,
Mhm.
I give it like a cute like 8.5.
Okay. And a half.
9 even. Some could say
Okay.
9.
Okay.
I think as a stage to movie adaptation and with my own personal feelings attached to it, I say like a Q7.
Wow, I'm harsher than you.
T.
LOL. Um, for standalone, I give it a 7. Yeah, I'm just not as like
I'm interested to hear your personal
I
feelings.
know. I've seen like it was fun, it was cute, but once again, I can't when I'm listening, if it's standalone music, it's still a standalone movie musical. So if I have to sit here and listen to someone who does not sing well, that's a problem for me. So like automatically your points are down because you didn't do your part. Not specifically her, everybody involved with that. Casting choice, pull in, music arrangements, etc. Um, I am kind of harsher. Like if I'm giving it a 9 or a 10, that means I was amazed. I wasn't amazed by it. And I wasn't 100% okay with it, so it's not an 8, so I'm gonna give it a 7. For stage to movie, obviously, then it's gonna be a bit lower. I will say I would probably was a little bit harsh. At first, I gave it a 4, and I'm like, no, I did like it though. Let me be honest.
A
I did still enjoy.
4.
I know. I think it's the pop stuff that throw me off on top of what I just said too. But
Hmm.
I think, and also the meet the plastics thing. Like when we're going from state, it's like there's certain things. I understand certain things have to change, but that was not something that needed
Yeah.
to change. Um, So, and then I didn't like the zoom in on Katie. Like those little things make a point for me. So like
Yeah.
that was my original. I would probably give it like a 5.56.
Okay. Now with your
Yeah.
rubric.
Hello.
changing my answers.
Okay.
I think standalone, I'm still gonna say I think eight.
Okay.
I'd still stand with my eight, not eight and a half. I think I give it
Okay.
the eight. I think
Okay.
I enjoyed myself
Okay.
enough in watching it as a standalone movie that I was like, okay.
Mhm.
Now looking back and being like, okay, they got rid of the shit that I liked. How dare they? How dare they get rid of Meet the Plastics? That really
That's the
irked
main
me.
one for me. Yeah.
Um, that and I think just the like I would give it, I think I would say six. I'd still say six. I think the
Okay.
one that would go down would be my other one.
Okay.
Because I had a good time. And that's what I've been telling people. I'm like, as a movie, it's good. Like you're gonna have fun.
Mhm.
But I think if you are a musical theater, just a theater lover, you're gonna have feelings about it.
Yeah. That's very fair. Um, I would
Which I'm
say
like
like
this similar to like Phantom of the Opera, where I'm like, I'm sure
true.
people who love the stage adaptation hate the movie, but I'm like, I love the movie by itself.
Hmm. Yeah. It's been a minute since I've watched it. Fun fact, I came across Phantom of the Opera via FX or like on a random Saturday or something. It was playing.
Mm,
I didn't even know about the musical yet. I was still very young. I wasn't into the musical world like that. And I enjoyed it. I remember I enjoyed it. Um, so I can't have a comparison, but maybe now that I've watched Phantom of the Opera in live, maybe I should watch the movie again and catch the vibes. Ah, that's such a fun musical to watch, by the way. Sorry, I got off topic.
hmm.
It's very fun. I love a musical that has some like fantasy supernatural stuff in it because I get so curious with
Hmm.
how they're gonna the staging's gonna be and the setting and the design of it all. That's why I was like
Also, just like the ensemble moments,
hmm
Masquerade,
hmm
gag.
I'm lucky I got to see it was so good. I can't even think of their names right now, but I saw my two black main characters and it was great. She ate and then oh what's his name? I can't think her name Anne no. I can't think of her name, but her face is like right there in front of me. And then Jordan something. He also
Mm.
played the homeboy. Not the Phantom, but the other guy. But yeah, that was a great time. I will say before we wrap up, was there like a specific favorite like moment that you got that was never before in the stage version or in the previous um movie that you saw that stood out to you?
Um, I think I don't know. In this one, and maybe it's just because I don't remember it in the first. Actually, no. What I do, the part that I love, and it made me go like, "Aw," was after. I think it was after Aaron left Katie or something. I don't know when, but oh, Karen, right? Yeah, Karen was like, "It's
Okay.
okay. Like, I'm still your fiend." Or she texted her and she was like, "Oh, Karen just said like I'm still your fiend," or like I'm still your friend. Like I'm not mad at you or something like that. And it was just
Mhm.
so sweet because it's like, yes, Karen is like dumb, dumb as hell, but like she's really sweet and she means well. And I think in that moment you saw that, and it only
Mhm.
took like she wasn't even in the scene. It was
Yeah.
Gretchen being like, "Oh yeah, Karen just texted me to tell you this." And it's like just from that you understood who Karen was.
hmm That's true. Yeah. Yeah. I also don't remember if that was a moment in the movie. From what I remember in the original movie, they dipped on her too. I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
that's why I was like, I don't know. I don't remember if they were like still talking to her or not.
Yeah. I
It's
could
been
be
a while
wrong
since I've seen
or
the
could have
original movie.
or it could have been a small mention, but yeah, I noticed that too. Um especially in text form. So, yeah, that was a nice moment. I agree. Um these are all opinions, listeners.
Yeah,
If
don't come for me, please.
if you haven't watched it, still watch it. Develop your own ideas and opinions and understanding of the movie. If you've never watched the musical, go take a listen. Um, watch a slime tutorial if you want to. Um, but I think it still did it could have been worse. So I definitely think go watch it, go check it out where it's available. Go listen. I would still say go listen to the musical soundtrack. I personally will not listen to the
Mhm.
movie soundtrack again. I don't think personally, sorry. Um, but yeah, go check it out. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining, Daniel.
Thank you for
For
having
listener,
me.
of course. For listeners out there, don't forget to share, like, follow this podcast. Please, please, please. If you're in Ireland, share with another friend. If you're in England, share with another friend. Let it spread globally. I promise you, we're working on getting this out there to more people. Send it to a friend, a family member, a loved one. We would greatly appreciate it. Follow me at Kavana on Instagram and at the Introvert Social Hour on TikTok to get podcast updates. Get some sunshine, get some air, have an amazing week. I will see you next week on the Introvert Social Hour. Thanks for joining. Bye.